You got to be careful when it comes to your desires, because your desires is what welcomes disrespect from your woman. And that's something I want to talk about. I want to talk about how your desires actually welcomes disrespect from your woman. Now, there's all types of desires that people have. There's different types of vices. However, specifically, I want to talk about your desires for women in this video. Your desires, when it comes to a woman, are the sex, her body, how her titties look, her ass, everything that comes with a woman. Your desires is what is welcoming disrespect from her. Desires. But how do my desires welcome disrespect? It doesn't make any sense. Can you explain that? Well, it's very simple. When you desire a woman for sex, her looks, her body, her titties, her ass, all that stuff, when you have a strong desire for that, and that desire is so great, it causes you to lower your standards. And if you're more of a passive type of man, or if you're a nice guy, it makes you even more of a nice guy. It makes you even more passive because those desires are so strong. It's a desire. That's why they're called desires. But when you have a standard, it's not going to stand up to that desire because your desire is that strong. I want you to think about that. How many men do you know have such strong desires, or they have strong vices that they do a lot of crazy stuff that doesn't make any logical sense, but the desire and the vice is so strong that they do it anyway, even though it does not make any logical sense? It's because it's so strong. Now, it's even worse if you have no standards. If you have no standards, you don't have any boundaries, any of that, it's even worse. It's even worse. The desires are just going to run your life and going to ruin you, because that is what she sees. She sees that, okay, he supposedly has standards, or he doesn't have standards at all, but his desires, he's showing me that his desires are so strong. He's always asking me for sex. He's always doing this. He's always doing that. He's always watching porn. He's always going to strip clubs. He's always doing everything that shows her that you have that strong desire for her, for sex, for the looks, for the body. And when she sees this, she's paying attention. You may not understand this, but women are not stupid. Women pay attention to everything, especially if it benefits them. And if it doesn't benefit them, and if it's a red flag, they pay attention to that as well. They take note on everything. You may not, because a lot of times men, we're sometimes lazy when it comes to that. But a woman, she's paying attention. And if she's paying attention and she sees that you have these strong desires that are outside of you, guess what's going to happen? Guess what's going to happen? I want you to think about that. What do you think is going to happen when she sees that you have these strong desires? Yeah, she's going to disrespect you, but what else? She's not going to take you serious. She's not going to see you as a strong male role model. She's not going to see you as that strong leader, because you're being controlled by something outside of you. And more specifically, your desire for her. So if she's the one that is outside of you and you have that strong desire for her, for the sex, for the titties, for the ass, all the good stuff, she can always control you. She can always control you because she knows you do not have control over your desires. And when you fall for this, she can do anything she wants to. She can run you. She can take advantage of you because she knows that you won't do shit about it, because your desires are so strong. And that's why you see a lot of women that use sex as a tool. They use sex as a weapon. They dangle it over your head. They only give it to you for your birthday or special occasions, because she knows the desire is so strong. She'll give you that when she feels like it, especially if you're in a committed relationship or you're married. She'll give you that when she feels like it, because that's what you want. That's what you desire so much. So since he really wants it so much, I'll give it to him. I'll ration it out, but I also want to get my way in between. So yeah, his birthday's coming up. We'll do something fun. Valentine's Day's coming up. We'll do something fun. Christmas, maybe a special holiday that you like or you enjoy. We'll do something fun. But in between times, it's what she wants. Pay attention to that. Next time, if you're in a relationship right now and your woman does this, maybe she only gives you head on your birthday, right? Or a special occasion. Or maybe she only gives you sex or does all the wild, freaky stuff on your birthday or special occasions. I want you to pay attention to that. After she does that with you and to you, how does she act afterwards? Does she complain? Does she act really aggressive? Does she expect you to buy her things? Does she expect you to do this and do that? Or is she pretty laid back? 9 times out of 10, if she's rationing out the sex on special occasions, she's more than likely acting very strange, very aggressive. She's trying to get her way. She's trying to control you, run the relationship, all that stuff afterwards. So I just want you to be very, very aware of what's going on so you can peep it and understand what I'm talking about. And if you have those strong desires, you have to work on that. You have to work on that. And the best way for you to work on that is just to remember, the stronger your desire and the more desires you have, the less respect that you will get from her. The stronger your desire and the more desires that you have, the less respect you will get from her. Now, when you have controlled desires, or your desires are weak, or you have less desires, the more respect you will get, because you can't be controlled by your desires, especially if it's her or if it's outside of you. Like I said earlier, when it comes to sex, when it comes to the body, the looks, all that good stuff, the more control that you have over those desires and the weaker your desires are, the more respect you're going to get. Once you keep this in mind and you pay attention to how she acts, especially if she knows your desires, you pay attention to what you do, how you control your desires. It will tell you a lot about yourself. It will tell you a lot about her. And you can put yourself in that situation, that position to where now I'm noticing that special occasions, she does all this fun stuff, but afterwards she acts like a bitch. Afterwards, she tries to control me and run me. But you know what? Let me have more control over my desires. Let me step back a little bit. And instead of always talking about sex or asking for sex or trying to have sex or just having that conversation, let me take a step back and see how she acts, how she treats me. If you want to know how a woman really thinks about you and what she thinks about you, don't put your desires on display. Take a step back. Don't put your desires on display and see how she treats you. See how she acts. How does she talk to you? Does she give you more sex? Does she do more for you? And this is the last thing I want to leave you with. And this is something you can try. If you have those strong desires, whether you have a strong desire for sex and you go to strip clubs or you watch a lot of porn or whatever it is. If you have a strong desire that's outside of you and it involves a woman, what I want you to do is, I don't want you to stop your desires. I just want you to become more aware of how you act and your desires. But the one thing I want you to do is I want you to think of your favorite food. It could be a cheeseburger. It could be fries. It could be a burrito, whatever it is, whatever item that you can get that's a food item that is a favorite item that you love to consume. What I want you to do is spend 30 days and whatever that desire is. For example, if you love a certain cheeseburger, right? It's going to sound crazy. It's going to sound really crazy, right? What I want you to do is buy the cheeseburger, get you a glass container, something that you can get from Target or Amazon, get you a glass container, put the burger in there, seal it up, and I want you to ride around with it. When you go to work, when you're at home, when you're in your vehicle, wherever you go, keep that around for about 3 to 5 days, depending on how bad it is. You know, you don't want to have anything that's super rotten, but I want you to keep it around you all the time. The favorite thing that you love to eat, whatever you desire, keep it around you all the time. And instead of being tempted to eat it or consume it, I want you to not do it. Just don't do it. And what happens is you end up training your mind that, yes, I enjoy this item. I love this item. It tastes delicious, but I don't have a strong desire for it anymore like I used to. And you start to learn how to control your desires. You start to learn how to control the things outside of you and the things that you really want. When you start to do that for 30 days and you are aware of how you feel throughout the 30 days, what goes on through your mind? Is it one day where you're like really tempted? Like, I really have to eat this and I haven't had this in a long time. I really want to eat this. Or are you more able to slow down and control yourself and just let that day go by? And then another day goes by and another day goes by. And then after 30 days, you realize, hey, I was able to really practice this and control my desires and not give into it. And once you do that, you train your brain to really understand that you actually have control. Nothing else outside of you has control. And the reason why I said start with a burger is something that necessarily doesn't have an interaction with you. The cheeseburger just is a cheeseburger. It doesn't talk to you unless you're on drugs or you're taking, some acid, or we ain't gonna talk about this on this channel. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you have a burger, it's not going to talk back to you. It's not going to antagonize you. It's not going to tease you. But when it comes to a woman, she will do that. So you want to start off slow. Like I said, start with something like a burger, whatever you like to eat, whatever, and train yourself to not give into it. And then once you train yourself to not give into that, it'll be a lot easier for you to be more aware of your desires when it comes to the woman. But also, she's more interactive. She can tease you. She can antagonize you. But that practice will help you have better control and just realize that I really don't have to have that. If a woman tries to use sex as a tool, as a weapon, and she tries to dangle it over you for special occasions, you'll be able to take a step back and say, I don't need you to play around with me like that. Either you want to have sex with me or you don't, or whatever it is that she's dangling over you or using as a tool or using as a weapon. You're going to be able to talk to her more assertively and just let her know that, yeah, I do like this. I do want it. You don't desire it because it doesn't have control over you. But you're also not going to play the game of only on your birthday, only on special occasions.